Hey, what's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another live stream edition of the World Elite Podcast, presented exclusively by our family over at the Debate Network. I am your host, Dylan Hebert. Joining me, as always, is the rest of the Elite Core 4. First, we got our guy, Jordan Johnson. Jordan, what's going on today, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, and I've been waiting all day for this interview, so let's roll.
Oh, God.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And then we got our guy, Blaine Arsenault. Blaine, what's going on, brother? How you doing today?
What's going on, man? Just ready for a good interview.
Same here, man. And also the sensational one himself, we got Gary. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, guys. I'm doing well today, and I've also been looking forward to meeting you, Mikey, and being able to do this interview. So I'm super excited about tonight.
Oh, God.
And let's not wait any longer. Let's get to our guest. As you can see on your screen, if you keep up with the independent scene, then you know that he is from Garden Grove, California. He goes by the element of surprise, Mikey O'Shea. First of all, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is big for all of us because myself, I haven't done a live interview, I would say, going on, if not over 2 years. The last interview was Bull Buchanan, and that was a really fun time.
Really?
Jordan, yeah, that was a really fun time, by the way. I mean, so many stories from this guy.
I'm glad he's still around. I never got the chance to meet him in person, but he was part of the. So I got into wrestling at the late year of 2000. So like I just got into wrestling during the I would say maybe past the peak of the Attitude Era. So Right to Censor just became a thing, and they did such a good job of me hating their guts.
Well, if you're interested in checking the interview out, it is on our channel. In the video portion of it, it wasn't a live interview. We uploaded it, so if you're interested, go check it out. He has a lot of stories about Right to Censor, so I would definitely go and check that out. One, Jordan, it's been I say well over 3 years since he did an interview with us. Blaine and Gary haven't done one with us at all since they're newer to the show, so. This is all big for us tonight. So, we're all here to have a good time. Something that we strive to do every week is to have a good time over here. So how we're going to do it, I'll start off the interview since I want to put the spotlight more on my guys here. I don't want to take everything from them. I want them to have fun doing this as well. So I'll start, and then Jordan, and then we'll go to Blaine, and then we'll close out with Gary before I close the show out. So whenever everyone's ready, we can get right down to business. And I will actually start with probably the easiest question that anyone can ever ask, independent wrestler or WWE wrestler or AEW, whatever. I mean, you interview, but everyone has their most, unique story about it. So basically, how did you get your start into wrestling? As far as your fandom growing up, favorite wrestlers, wrestling schools, etc. So what's your story about it?
Okay, so before I became a wrestling fan, I would sometimes come across it when I was a kid while watching the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They would normally come on right afterwards, and the first match I ever saw ever was on a random Fox Kids channel. It was The Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez. I don't know if it was the WrestleMania match or it was just a rerun of the match. I don't know, but I thought The Undertaker was cool. So like anytime I ever played the video games with my family or friends, I would always pick The Undertaker. But I knew nothing of WWE and I knew nothing of WCW back in the day. So around 2000, a little after Judgment Day, 2000, I would say. My friends who were big time wrestling fans at the time, for mostly Stone Cold and The Rock and all that, they told me, "Hey, you should watch SmackDown. The Undertaker's back." And I'm like, "What's SmackDown?" Because I thought WWF shows were called WWF. So I finally sat down and watched my first 2-hour episode of SmackDown. The main event was actually Undertaker versus Shane McMahon, and that was the last time in a very long time Undertaker actually pulled off the Tombstone Piledriver and switched to the Last Ride after that. But I watched that show and I'm like, man, 2 hours a week of this is amazing, because I was so used to like watching Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, like half an hour type shows. And I remember watching Dragon Ball Z one time and saw an entire episode of Frieza just powering up. So then I watch then I watched SmackDown for the first time. I'm like, wow, all this for 2 hours? This is amazing. So then SmackDown was first, and then I accidentally came across Raw, and then I would watch SmackDown, Raw. I accidentally came across Jacked in my area. I know some areas it's Shotgun Saturday or Metal, but in my area it was called Jacked. It was on like 1 a.m. on Sunday mornings, and then Sunday Night Heat. So I always tuned in when I was a teenager, and unfortunately, I didn't know much about WCW until they unfortunately got bought out. So I never really had the pleasure to watch them live, except one time. But that was before I ever was a wrestling fan. It was when Goldberg beat Raven for the United States title. That just pure accident. I came across that channel, but then other than that, Ready to Rumble, the movie.
Yeah,
that's the only live experience I have with WCW. So yeah, I became a wrestling fan, and 1 year in, when me and my friend went to go see SmackDown in 2001, literally the SmackDown after Judgment Day 2001, the main event was the TLC 3 with Benoit, Jericho versus Edge and Christian, the Hardys and Dudleys. And I looked at my friend while having my first ever t-shirt, wrestling t-shirt, Dead Man Inc., thanks to my mother. And I told him, I want to do that one day. That looks like fun, because I love the aspect of adventure, performing in front of a live crowd, thousands of people, having the ability to make people get away from the harsh reality of life, and proving your athletic ability than what people would think of you. Those are like mostly the aspects of why I love about wrestling. I mean, money sounds nice, but I like the adventure aspect of wrestling. That's what got me into it. So I didn't know anything about wrestling schools or any of that. I didn't know anything about independent wrestling, sadly, until 2007, when I started like making friends on YouTube, and they told me about like Ring of Honor, PWG, CZW, all that. And I didn't find my first wrestling school until 2008. And I feel so silly because this school's been around for a couple of years and was only 2 miles away from my house. I wish I knew about this the moment I got done with my senior year of football, because I would have head straight there, because that's what I wanted to do. So the rest of the school was called Battleground Pro Wrestling. They used to do shows out here in Southern California. The promoter actually moved to Denver, Colorado, and he's actually doing shows out there. Just the school no longer exists. But that's where I first started training. My first day was June 8th, 2008. And my teacher's name was Roberts, but he went by the wrestling name Foob Dog. God rest his soul, he passed away in 2022. But he was the first teacher I ever had. And he wasn't well known in the independent world of wrestling because he wasn't like the best, but like he was the best person in my eyes to go and learn the basics. So I could not have found a better person to start training in wrestling. And then I trained for 15 months, literally 2 or 3 days a week, never skipped out, and got my first match September 26, 2009. And I've been doing it ever since. I never really took a break outside of, the pandemic, and sometimes I'll have some weekends off here or there. I did mess up my knee one time in 2022, but at most I took like 2 months off. Probably should have took a little longer, but I couldn't help myself. But yeah, I just been doing this for nearly 17 years professionally.
So before, and also correct me if I'm wrong with any of this information, but I was doing my research as I was coming up with questions, and I looked up and I saw before you even got into the business, before we started training and whatnot, on your YouTube channel, you was that you would mainly use it as like being like a critic, like being a wrestling critic, as far as like the wrestlers go, the storylines go. So okay, luckily I'm right about that, because that ties into my next question, because you see a lot of stuff about on the internet, and it's not so much about the wrestlers feuding with each other from like AEW or WWE. It's more of the fans that are like, oh, this promotion's better, that promotion's better. So to channel your inner critic from all those years ago, what is your current sort of opinion on the current state of professional wrestling today? Is there something wrong with it? Is there something that you do love about it? What is your current take on it?
I will say up front, I think wrestling has never been more on fire than it has now, especially in the independent world of wrestling. I like to think, because of companies like TNA, Ring of Honor, and AEW, that they're slowly starting to show more casual WWE fans that there's more out there than just WWE. Back before I trained to be a wrestler, from 2007 to 2009, I would say, I did kind of create a fan base on YouTube because I kind of had fun, like any other wrestling fan, and started creating videos of how I felt about the business. Gave my thoughts about it. Again, they're just opinions. But and I was on that bandwagon for a second. Yeah, TNA's awesome. WWE sucks. But I was 19, 20 years old. I am now 38. I'm a little more mature, I would hope. Every wrestling company has its pros and cons. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, and there's always going to be criticism, but I don't ever want to see any wrestling company go out of business, because that's less wrestling for the fans, less people like us getting work, and just less entertainment. So I just love all different kinds of wrestling shows. I have like I'm not like, yeah, I'm gonna watch AEW, F WWE. No, I don't watch wrestling like I used to back in the day, because I have a more responsibility in real life. But like, I'll watch it if it's convenient. But mostly I just work, get booked, and try to have some fun outside of wrestling.
So jumping back 10 years ago, you had the opportunity of actually wrestling on SmackDown Live in a tag team match versus Chad Gable, Jason Jordan, American Alpha. And it was in California. I did my research for this one as well. And so what was that type of experience like, being able to wrestle in front of an audience like that? And how does like the process of booking like independent talent go for like companies like WWE and stuff like that?
So they have WWE recruit.com. I think it's still called that. I would, like, every 2 weeks write an application, putting in like my newest headshot, my newest match, and for like a year and a half, I just kept on doing it. And then in 2012, I got my first shot trying out for WWE. It was actually the day after SummerSlam. This was before they, like, literally months before they opened up the Performance Center. They rented out a private facility out here. It was like a volleyball gym or something. It was like a basketball gym, something like that. And they had the WWE ring in there. And I literally tried out with Adam Pearce, Bailey. I don't know if you remember him, but he was in WWE for a second. Tyler Rust, Timothy Thatcher, which I'm happy to see that he got his job back there. Love that guy. And a bunch of other cats that two of them actually got signed to NXT, but they never made their debut, sadly. But that was when Bailey got signed, and that was, I don't think Adam Pearce got signed right there, but that he was into like the beginning stages of working for WWE after that. But I digress. After that, I kind of had their email for talent relations. So whenever they come to my neck of the woods, Raw and SmackDown, I'll try and hit them up. Hey, I was hoping if I could be an extra again to, be an extra for Raw and SmackDown. And they normally would give me the chance once or twice a year to do Raw and SmackDown both times. So it was always, you're not guaranteed to get anything. You could be backstage all day just eating catering and watching the show. You could be a security guard. You could be a background character. Or if you're lucky, you might get a match. And going to that in 2016, it was in August, so we're right there 10 years later. It was awesome. We just got done with Raw. It was mostly me, a guy named Sasha Derevko, that was his independent wrestling name, who was Mike Vega, my tag team partner in that jobber match, and Jarrell Nelson. He was the guy that jobbed out to Braun Strowman, like one of the first ones to get jobbed out to Braun Strowman. Make him a monster. We all rode to Bakersfield, California. The funny thing about that, before Jarrell Nelson was going to job out to Braun Strowman, it was actually my partner, Sasha. Sorry. We'll go with Mike Vega to make it easier. He was going to job out to Braun Strowman, and we went up to IRS because he was like the agent of the match. And he was talking in front of us with Mike, and he just turned his head because Jarrell Nelson's a little shorter than Mike. It's like, you know what? We're just going to go with this guy. Sorry, Mike. And Mike was crushed because, like, he was just about to dress up and job out on Monday Night Raw, and then it got taken from him like that. So on the way up to fucking Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. I apologize.
No, you can. We don't care.
Okay, good. I was getting into it. So we were on our way to Bakersfield, and he was just throwing a hissy fit. Like, man, all I just want to do is just job out one time on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. I could just retire. The next day, we go to SmackDown. John Laurinaitis brings us together, and he's like, okay, guys, I'm going to have you take on American Alpha tonight. It's only going to be like a minute long. You're not going to get any offense in. Make them look strong. I'm like this most of the entire time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You got it, no problem. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm wrestling on SmackDown. I'm wrestling on SmackDown. I turn to my friend, who Mike. I'm like, so you gonna retire after this? And the story gets even funnier. Ready? We get backstage, and you normally don't get a locker room for male extras, but we were just fortunate that day. We not only got the locker room, we actually had a gym to like work out in. But we go in, we put our bags down. I'm looking inside my bags. I'm trying to get everything because you always want to bring like your good gear and basic gear. Because if you try to wear your fancy stuff and they don't like it because they don't want you to look more shinier than their actual superstars, they're going to ask you to wear something else. So that's how I had that basic ass black singlets. Always come prepared. Always try to be as reliable as possible. I'm going inside my bag, trying to grab everything I can to get all my stuff in, and my stomach dropped because for the first time in my career, I forgot my boots.
Oh.
And I'm like 120 miles away from my house, and it's like 2 hours before showtime.
Oh no.
So my heart just dropped because
Oh,
like
no.
never have I ever forgotten anything in my life. So out of desperation, I went to the doctor's office, their doctor, and I grabbed a thick roll of wrist tape and I just started rolling up my feet to try and do something like
Yeah.
like Umaga or
Um,
Rusev. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah.
So, but thankfully, Jarrell Nelson saved my life because he allowed me to wear his boots. The only problem, I'm a size 14.
Uh-oh.
He's a size 10.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
But by the grace of God, I made it work. I just took off all the laces and it got down to where I literally had to take off my socks to fit my feet in those boots.
Jesus.
I managed to made it work. And my index toe was like this, like one wrong move, I'm pretty sure I would have broken something. But so when you're seeing, so if you go back to that clip of me about to have that tag match with American Alpha, and you see me like doing this, it looks like I'm just getting pumped up for my match. But in reality, I'm in a lot of pain.
Yeah. I'd imagine so.
But everything went well. When I got in that ring, because you asked me like the experience, the crowd is the crowd's like reactions, their voices, it all like goes right there in the middle, and you just hear everything. It's super loud. Like
Yeah.
I was that we were at least wrestling in front of, I would say maybe at least 7, 8, hopefully 10,000 people.
Right.
It was a fantastic feeling. And it was a minute long, but it was still one of the best nights of my life. The notifications felt nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jason Jordan, stand-up guy. He was actually there when I did my tryout back in 2012 because he was like the rookie at the time in NXT, and he came down with Bill DeMott, Jim Ross, and all of them to work out with us. And it was kind of like a full circle moment to like have that little thing with him. And Chad Gable was cool. Everyone was nice. Like when you're a male extra in WWE, you have to understand you're not treated like trash, but you can't. But from my experience, you're the most irrelevant person there when it comes to backstage. Like
Right.
you got your WWE stars, Vince McMahon, you know, what have you, referees, agents, tech crew, caterers, female extra talents, male extra talents. You're not treated like crap, but
Right.
you're expendable. But
Right.
other than the first time, which I'll talk about some other time maybe, everyone was cool backstage. You know, you just respect their boundaries.
Right.
Don't go up to them and ask them for a photo because only God knows how long they've been on the road. But like for the most part, if a wrestler walks by me and our eyes lock, if we lock eyes, I give them a respectful nod, and they'll nod me back, or they'll come up and shake my hand. I'll introduce myself, but I respect their boundaries because the schedule back then compared to now was could be very tiring for them.
Yeah. Absolutely. So there was a reason why I hit you up last night to ask you about playing videos and whatnot. You know, I wasn't sure. You know, I was trying to avoid like copyright stuff and stuff like that. You know, I know YouTube is weird.
Yeah,
certain things, but this
I
is
do.
actually
I do come out to a lot of copyright music, sadly.
Oh well. Well, this is actually the way I discovered you. You know, just like any other human being, you know, going through Facebook Reels, Instagram videos, TikTok, all that good stuff. This is actually the video that I stumbled. And I would love to know about the aftermath of this. So I'm going to play it real quick, and then I'll ask you about it.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go! Let's go! I scared the old lady! Did not mean to do that, but it happened!
So at any point, did you ever get a chance to interact with her again after the show? Was, after the match that you had, did you get a chance to interact with her again?
I did. Her younger daughter came up with her, and I just made sure she was okay. I didn't mean to scare her. That little tunnel I went through, that was actually our locker room. It wasn't a standard wrestling show. It was like a special event at a fairground. We have a thing here in Tustin, California called the Tustin. Oh my God, I forgot what it's called, but it's a fair,
Right.
and they had the opportunity to hire this company called Relentless Pro Wrestling to do a special like half an hour exhibition show with like 3 matches, and I got hit up to do it, and it was cool because if you get a chance to wrestle at fairgrounds or conventions, I highly recommend doing it because it really is a fun little atmosphere than the casual wrestling shows you do, because you're wrestling in front of people that don't go out of their way to normally watch wrestling, but they'll do it there, and you don't need to hurt yourself. You don't need to like do a bunch of maneuvers to get their attention. All you got to do is just give somebody a back elbow or a clothesline, and they're going to eat it up. So unfortunately, that little tunnel had no curtain or whatnot. So or we had like no little barricade to like make people like stay away from that certain area. So when I came out because I like to explode through my entrance, I saw her, and I'm like, and I know I didn't punch her, but I couldn't help but feel like, oh my God, did I punch her? Because I normally I did this, and sometimes you get so pumped up you can't feel anything. Right. So I'm glad I didn't punch her on accident. That would have been horrible. But and I love the comment section. People are saying like, oh, he's a heel and he went to go check out the lady. I was always a babyface. But even if I was a heel, I would still break character and check on her because life is short. I'm not like in WWE or AEW. If I was in those types of companies, then yeah, obviously I would play it off. Right. But this is a hobby to me. Unless you give me like a living wage, I'll take kayfabe more seriously. But something like that, if I accidentally hit an old lady, I'm gonna make sure she's okay, because the whole method of staying as your bad guy character after you accidentally tagged an old lady, maybe threatened her life. No, I'm not gonna. No. But yeah, everybody was fine. It was a great viral video. That's kind of what put me on the map on Facebook, actually, because it got views on TikTok, it got views on Instagram, but I had no idea Facebook was doing the whole follower thing at that point. I guess they just started, so I gained like 10,000 followers just from that.
Yeah, because that was actually the first video I saw, and that's what made me instantly, reach out to you for the interview. I knew that already, that you were a cool guy, and just the conversation was going to be great. But then I see other videos. I saw the one where you were wrestling someone with too much lotion on. It was like cocoa butter, which was just hilarious.
My wife actually today at work.
Oh, he smelled great. He smelled wonderful. I just, I like my wrestling style. I think of myself like a powerhouse / brawler, but shows like that, I like to balance my persona out with my wrestling. So I'll do stuff and talk, do stuff, talk, do stuff, talk. Because to me, honestly, people have their own way of, how to get over in this business. But to me, I always thought your arsenal, your machine gun is your character and personality. Your move set will always be your secondary weapon, because anyone can do your moves. It's all about how can you connect with the audience, because the big leagues, maybe AEW is more about the moves, but WWE, they only care about how much money they can make off you based off your personality for how many years before they ever think about your move sets, for the most part.
Oh, trust me, I know it's all about the money. They took WrestleMania from us to give it to Vegas, so I totally understand.
Hey, I'm sorry, but thank you. Because it gave me another year to get bookings.
Exactly. There you go.
Now, that cocoa butter thing was in Vegas.
Oh, nice.
Oh, dang.
All right, so this is my last question before I hand it over to Jordan. First of all, thank you for answering all my questions very honestly, and thank you for your time for coming on, hanging out with us.
I appreciate it. To everyone that you're about to ask me questions, I hope I can answer them all. I apologize if I draw a blank.
So as long as you've been doing this, obviously I know that your presence in front of a live audience could get a little better as far as like nerves go, but is there any pre-match ritual that you do to like kind of shake the nerves a little bit no matter where you go?
It's really easy for me to like, I'll still feel a little nervous before I go out there, no matter what. Be like, if you feel like you got to go to the bathroom right before you go through that curtain, then yeah, you're good to go. Once you go in the ring, that feeling goes away. But I gotten really comfortable being able to perform in front of a crowd. It's like doing karaoke for the first time. After you do it the first couple of times, it gets natural to you. That's one thing I always appreciate about wrestling in particular. It helps you learn how to overcome a lot of fear when it comes to performing in front of a crowd or telling a story on a mic or learning to speak to people in front of a camera. But me, I'll tell you one thing. My first match, yeah, I was very nervous about the fear of having to go to the bathroom during my match because I had no idea. I didn't know anything about adrenaline rush and how it makes it go away. So, hours before my first match, I went to a nearby pharmacy and I devoured 2 Pepto-Bismols.
Oh wow!
Because I was that scared.
Oh man.
But yeah, the more I've done it, the more I did it, the more I got comfortable going out there and performing. I still get that little nervous wreck, like when I'm on deck waiting for the match before me to end. But you just gotta stay persistent and learn from your mistakes. And sometimes when before my match happens, I'll think about whatever I planned with my opponents and see what I could possibly do in between spots to be entertaining, whether it's serious or comedy.
Right. Okay.
But I don't stretch enough. I should do that. I mostly just lay my back on the ground and lift my feet up against a wall and just that's how I meditate. But yeah, I just go with the flow.
Nice. I'm coming, Jordan.
All righty. So did you have a plan B if wrestling didn't work out for you?
Plan B, if I didn't wrestle, I've always enjoyed acting. Like I've always enjoyed doing theater in college and all that. I don't know. I'll never know how far I would have gone, but even now, like my second dream job, honestly, because I love video games and anime a lot. Like it would be nice to get myself like a voice acting job or something like that, because I love wrestling at conventions. And man, what better way to enjoy the rest of your life than voice acting like important characters from anime or video games and getting invited to do meet and greets at conventions and wrestle at the same time. That would be that would be the dream right there. But other than that, it would be cool to do like video game streaming as once I have like all the right equipment. I do Twitch and all that, but all I have is the PS5 camera and a 12-year-old computer, so I need to work on that. But plan B, like, not really. Just it would be nice to be an entertainer, whether it's wrestling or something else.
So my second question is: do you follow any other sports while you're not wrestling?
Yeah, and mostly it's because here or there, like normally once a week, I like to smoke hookah. And I'll go to a lounge and they always have sports on. So I enjoy baseball. I enjoy football and basketball. Go Panthers, go Clippers, go Cubs. Sometimes I go to baseball games. But that's pretty much it. That's all when it comes to sports, I guess. Oh, I love watching like MMA and boxing if it happens to be like at the right time. Like I watched the recent fight between Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano, and it went as expected. That was actually really
Pretty much.
actually a really fun show. But the main event,
Yeah.
yeah. Who didn't see that coming?
Yeah, everybody.
Easiest $2 million she ever made.
So this is my third question. Dead or alive, who is your all-time dream match?
Oh, Undertaker, Ministry of Darkness, 1999, and a Hell in a Cell match.
Damn,
Yes,
he had that on
man, he
point.
knew that.
No, yeah, I get that question all the time. And out of all the Undertakers, I've always loved his Ministry of Darkness look. 1999 with the goatee, the slow revamp of his 1998 song. That to me is Final Boss Undertaker, which I wish reached his full potential, but unfortunately he got injured and couldn't have like that Final Boss WrestleMania type match, which I was hoping for. But yeah, he is my favorite wrestler of all time. He's the reason why I got into wrestling. And if I would face any type of Undertaker, it'd be that one.
Jordan, before we get to your next question, we have a question in from the comments. Ivan says, so what has been by far your toughest opponent?
I get that question a lot as well. And I don't think I could really answer that until I finally retire. I will say at the top of the list, absolutely Adam Pearce, because I was one of his last matches before he retired and went to WWE to, be an agent and eventually become a general manager. During that time, it was really rare to get a win over Adam Pearce, 5-time NWA heavyweight champion. Even LA Knight, when he was Shawn Ricker back in the day, couldn't get a win over him. And he not only gave me a 6-month program with him on his way out, he gave me my first ever steel cage match. And even though he didn't have to, he gave me the win over him, which I'll always remember as one of my highlights of my career. So I don't know if he's like the toughest opponent. We'll find out as time goes on, because I've been doing this for almost 17 years. I like to think I'm going to do it for at least 30. So we'll see as time goes.
All right, this is my last question before I turn it over to Blaine. I want to say thank you for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Thank you, Jordan.
What is your goal for the rest of 2026?
So I got 1, 2, 3 more conventions to look forward to. That's the thing. My new inspiration in life, like if I get a job, great. But I'm 38 and I kind of made peace with the fact that I'm probably never going to go to WWE or AEW. If the offer's there, of course I'm taking it. But once you reach a certain age, it's very slim to none. But I digress. I found a new inspiration to look forward to every year wrestling, and that's wrestling at conventions. It all started in 2022 when I wrestled for a convention called Level Up Expo. And to this day, this is in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Las Vegas convention. It's video games, anime, trading cards, wrestling, cosplaying, music, cars, video game tournaments, what have you. And to this day, it's literally my personal WrestleMania of 1 weekend out of the year. And then as time went on, more conventions has been welcoming wrestling in my neck of the woods. In particular, a company called Anime Las Vegas, which also runs Anime Riverside, Anime Phoenix, Anime San Diego. I'm actually going there this weekend. That's my next booking. I'm wrestling for Anime Riverside Saturday and Sunday. And Game On Expo at the Phoenix Convention Center. I just got done with them in March. And Anime Impulse, they do like they normally do 3 or 4 a year. And we actually did one with them in January in Los Angeles. So we got the next one in my backyard in Anaheim at the Anaheim Convention Center. So my goals in wrestling, trying to get back to it, I apologize. It would be nice to get a job, but I'm at that point in my life where if it happens, cool, but I'm not going to beg for one. I'm not hard to find. They have my contact information. Let's talk. I am fully confident in myself that if they offered me a living wage contract, I could double that for them. I could double their investments. But if you offer me a contract like Okada, then yeah, I'm not confident I'm going to make you that money back. At least the first year. Give me some time. But yeah, I would love to work for WWE, AEW. The ball's in their court, but unfortunately, it's up to them what they're looking for, and sometimes you don't have that kind of luck. Realistically, it would be nice to get on companies like Game Changer Wrestling. I love what I've been seeing with JCW Lunacy because I got a couple of colleagues, a couple of friends that are actually booked there. It would be nice to get booked there too because I know I would have a good time doing that. NWA, would love to get on NWA, and I would love to do TNA, but I have had a history of doing ball busting videos on them. So, and they did a ball busting video. I don't know if you know this, but I have no evidence, but I know for a fact they did it on purpose. There was this segment when Trick Williams was the TNA heavyweight champion at the time. It was on Impact. He goes out there with his lawyer, and he goes up to his lawyer. What's your name again? And the lawyer says Mikey O'Shea.
Oh,
I'm like, you know you did that to bust my balls. You know you did that because I made fun of you booking Tessa Blanchard.
oh yeah.
I know you did that. And the funny thing is, I made a funny reaction to it on Instagram, and Tommy Dreamer liked it.
Oh,
you motherfucker. You know it. If you're gonna do that, at least bring me in the job out. God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
But yeah, would love to work for TNA, but moving on.
Go ahead, man.
All right. When you committed to the wrestling thing, take us back to your first day of training. What was that like?
Dude, I couldn't sleep days prior. I remember the day before I went shopping for shorts and shirts, and I went and saw Kung Fu Panda, the first one. I remember stuff like that. That's why my name is Mikey. I'll never be Mike. Sometimes I could just say silly things. But yeah, my first day I was so stoked. Like I was obviously wearing a TNA t-shirt, shorts, and the training was like 2 hours, and they obviously taught me how to roll and bump first. And when I did my first ever bump, because I watched that episode of True Life from MTV. It's like it's like a Bible to me. It's that one episode where it shows Triple H and China as a couple. It shows Tony Atlas in the independent world barely trying to survive, and it shows this other dude that was spoiled and tried to become a wrestler, but he failed miserably. I don't know if you guys ever saw that episode, but I highly recommend it because it shows you like the true harsh reality of trying to become a professional wrestler and what it could do to you. I did my first bump in the ring, and I'm like, oh yeah, my body was meant for this. And then the first move I ever learned was shoulder tackles. You take them and then you give them. So that was my first move I ever learned before lockups, before, wrist locks and waist locks, before even locking up. The first thing I learned was shoulder tackles. After that, they actually had a little showcase show with all the other classmates. They had like actually a crowd come in, and they asked me if I could referee the match. I'm like, yes, sir, I'll be a referee. I marked out. Back then, during that time, it was kind of frowned upon to still be a mark, but I'm now happy to say, because Matt Stryker said it best, everybody in this business, whether you're a fan or a wrestler, is a mark. How you behave as a mark is a different story. And I am absolutely proud of acting like a mark as long as I understand as long as I understand common sense and boundaries. Like, for example, I did a seminar one time with Loki, and we had this super mark as a classmate. And while Loki was in the ring stretching, this classmate thought it was a smart idea to go inside the ring right in front of Loki and take a picture of him. Like, thanks, buddy. We're probably going to get our ass kicked now. Thank you so much. But yeah, sorry. That was a long story. That's the first thing I learned my first day in wrestling, and I was so happy. Shoulder tackles.
Awesome. So you said earlier your mom gave you your first wrestling shirt. So is it
Yes.
safe to say that that your family supported your wrestling career?
So I didn't necessarily pursue my wrestling career until like 2 years after I graduated high school. During that time, that was 2001, when I got that shirt from her. So I was still like growing up. I was still going to like, junior high school. I got to high school. I did football. I love football. I love doing high school football. But after I graduated high school, my love for it just diminished because I've always just wanted to be a wrestler above everything else. So I was going to pursue junior college or community college football, but then I just told my father at the time, my love for it is gone, and I just want to be a wrestler. He didn't approve because he always wanted to be a football player, but he was a skinny guy, and unfortunately, he broke his leg when he did freshman football, so he couldn't pursue football. But he was kind of hoping I would do it for him, and you just can't do things in life that only pleases somebody else and not you. Like a lot of people tend to not realize that if you want to pursue something, great. Just make sure you want to do it before anybody else wants you to do it. Otherwise, you're just gonna live a miserable life. So, like, I wanted to be a wrestler. I love football, but it just wasn't for me. My mother was happy for me. She like my dad didn't hate me or anything, but like my mother was mostly the most understanding out of my family of what I wanted to do as a hobby.
Gotcha. What's the hardest part of indies that fans don't know or don't see?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
What's the hardest part of the indies that the fans don't see?
We don't get paid enough for what we do to our bodies. um, the money that I make when I wrestle on an average match covers my food, gas, maybe even movie tickets if it wasn't too difficult. But and sometimes it can get like it's really hard to like sometimes when you're done with the show and you get back in your car and you drive home and you're like sore, it can be kind of lonely sometimes. So like I don't mind fans like heckling us and having a good time, but like at the same time, like have a little bit of respect for people that put their lives on the line for your entertainment. That's all I'm saying. And they do. Every once in a while, there's a person out there that has no common sense or is inconsiderate. But for the most part, at least in my neck of the woods, every fan I ever met, fantastic people, supportive, love what we do.
Yes. This is my last question. Have you ever have a match completely fall apart?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
I'll say one. This was back in 2011. There's been some after that, but because they're my friends and I love them, I'm not going to mention it. I had a random lucha match one time in 2011. It was me and 3 different luchadors. I can't speak Spanish. So I had no clue that in lucha, certain wrestling moves are called differently than they are in America. So we came up with a spot where I body slammed this guy. I go up the second rope and I give him a cross body. In lucha, I guess it's called a body splash. So I give him the body slam. I climb up to the second rope. I'm waiting for him to stand up. He's not standing up, but he's doing this. So in front of the crowd, by the way. So I'm like, so we're just doing this back and forth. I'm like, fuck it. And I jump for a body splash. And yeah, it was a clusterfuck.
The flip side of that, what's the toughest bump you took?
Oh God. It's very simple, but still it hurts like hell. Sometimes when you're a hungry dreamer, you can't help yourself but do something stupid. I don't recommend it. I don't care how passionate you are about this business. A back body drop, the one where they grab you by the thighs, they throw you up in the air, and you do a flip bump on concrete floor.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah, please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't make fool of yourself. I don't have a bad back or anything, but yeah, after the match, I was really stretching out my back on the floor when I got to the back. Yeah, don't do that. It sucks.
Hey, that's all I got, man. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem, Blaine. Thank you.
Go ahead, Gary.
All right, Gary, lay it on me.
all right. All right. So, Mikey, I am the newest like wrestling fan. I just started watching it at Dylan's house a couple months ago. I guess like a little backstory. Me and Dylan met in the 2nd grade. We've been friends for like 20 something years.
That's awesome.
But I am definitely newer in the wrestling like fandom and world. So I have a few questions. They might be a little silly, but I hope they're good. So I just want to start off. I don't know a lot of independent wrestlers.
It's all good, man.
I'm not
It's
big
all
into
good.
that.
I totally understand.
But what is your Mount Rushmore of independent wrestlers?
Oh, jeez.
That's a good question.
Like
brother.
I have a hard time trying to find a Mount Rushmore for, like, superstars. Like Undertaker's obviously going to be one of them, but we're talking about independent wrestling. I digress. Independent wrestling from my neck of the woods, man. I feel like Bryan Danielson would have to be up there. I wish I could say AJ Styles, but I feel like AJ Styles wasn't an indie darling like everybody else because he finally, because he did WCW, then he became really like a household name in TNA. So we got Bryan Danielson, that's for sure. Man, I might not even be able to answer this, but I'm just gonna try. I feel like Adam Pearce would definitely be one of them for sure because he was like his entire career was independent wrestling and a little bit of Ring of Honor. The other two, man, it's kind of tough.
It's okay to say yourself too if you want to throw yourself up there.
As much as I want to, I don't have the right to do that. If I would have to pick somebody else, definitely Scorpio Sky. That dude, like any chance I get to watch him wrestle, especially back in the day, was always a delight to see. If I could pick anybody else, and I know they're not going to be everyone's Mount Rushmore, but if I literally have to pick anybody else who I enjoy watching wrestling every single time, whether we like each other or hate each other, Tyler Bateman. I don't know if that name sounds familiar for some of you, but he was in Ring of Honor during the dying days, like 2020, 2021. He was actually the last ever trios tag team champions before they went under and AEW took over. But I watched that guy wrestle on the same shows as me, even got the chance to wrestle him a couple times. I just love his psychology because he goes out of his way to make his stuff look good, but not before making your opponent look good. He makes everything like if you punch him in the face, he'll make you feel like he just got punched in the face. Like I loved his work every single time. So I'll go with that.
Okay. So a little preface, we actually went to an independent wrestling event like at the end of last year, and we're going again next weekend.
I highly recommend it every time, man. Like I interrupted you, I apologize, but
no, that's okay.
There's just something about if you're just a fan or just looking for a good time, I would always suggest an independent wrestling show over like a WWE show any day because you'll save money and the wrestling will be all up in your face. And most of the time, every wrestling show has like a former name out there, so like you'll get a better chance to meet them and give your thanks and all that. But sorry,
right,
go on. I apologize.
No, that's okay. I mean, I will say my only complaint, they didn't have any nachos at halftime when I went to get them, but I digress.
They didn't have nachos?
No, they ran out of cheese by halftime.
By the intermission.
Oh,
I
wait a
mean,
minute.
and-
They did have nachos. They were
They
just so
did, yeah,
good.
they
sold
ran out.
I was gonna
And
say,
also, sorry, Gary, but the first time we went to the independent wrestling a few months ago, they actually advertised Ricky Morton from Rock and Roll
nice.
Express. He didn't show
He
up.
never showed up.
That will happen.
Yeah,
That will happen.
and they actually mentioned his name too. Like they said, like, oh, he's running late, and running late turned into never showing up. So I was
So
curious what happened.
I never experienced that because in California that much, but yeah, there's sometimes promoters or the wrestlers themselves can make up some bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, the tickets were like $15 or $20 or something. It wasn't that
Yeah,
bad.
it wasn't
So,
bad at all.
It was fine, but so the question, we were sitting second row, and the first row there was some people who were, being kind of crazy. There was a wrestler there they didn't like, I guess, and they kept saying like "fuck you" to him every time he'd walk by and this and that. And basically, long story short, my question is, I just want to know like what your weirdest fan interaction, like while you're in the ring and they're, like first row or whatever, what your weirdest interaction has been.
Weirdest? Okay. Two come to mind. Playful weird. There was so like for the longest time before the pandemic happened, in my neck of the woods in Orange County, most of the time where I go wrestle, this guy happens to be there. Never really knew who it was, but every time I go out there and we wrestle and we're about to lock up, I just hear him go, "Give him the Swiss cheese!" And I finally meet this guy. It was like February 2000, I would say 19.
Mhm.
I hear this and I'm like, and before I lock, I'm like, stop. Everyone shut up. Who said that? You! What does that mean?
That's awesome.
But and then at the end of the show, he gives me a random block of cheese.
That's awesome. What the
And a
heck?
sandwich from a 7-Eleven. Like, what? How did you have that in your pocket? I'm not going to eat it. Because only God knows how long it's, been in your pocket. But thank you for the gift. But when it comes to like dangerously weird, I used to wrestle for this company called Lucha Pro in Los Angeles. They still run, but back in the day from 2011 to 2014, they would do shows every Sunday. It was a good place to go to if you had nothing else going on and you just looking to get some work. But it's Los Angeles, like the dirty side of Los Angeles. So one time, the match was about to start with me and my opponents, and some dude with no shirt on, red eyes, just walked through the entrance to the building and was coming towards us in the ring, looking to join in on the fun. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Hello? So he tried to get up on the apron, and I smacked him one, and thankfully the DJ came out and like tackled him out and threw him out. But like, are we dead ass right now?
That's insane.
But no, thankfully I haven't really met a lot of crazies other than that. But yeah, I love wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome story, even though it's kind of scary and weird. But hey. Okay, so my next question is, how do you go? Like, what steps do you take to balance your personal and family life with pursuing your hobby / career as an independent wrestler?
Well, the one benefit is I haven't found my significant other yet, and I don't have children, so that's a plus. If I had that, then my wrestling hobby would definitely diminish a lot because I have a lot of colleagues who I love very much, but they're also husbands and wives and their mothers or fathers, so it's really hard to balance all that out with your real life and wrestling altogether. I just made it work, honestly. I think the one benefit is my real job is I get weekends off. Back then, when I was working jobs before the pandemic, I was working 2 jobs and I couldn't get any weekends off. But as long as I plan ahead with my bookings weeks and months in advance, they normally respect it. It's because I don't like try to overdo it. I bounce it off out while still working a full-time and part-time job. But yeah, it really isn't hard for a single guy with no kids.
That's fair. That's fair. So my next question is, you hear stories about it every once in a while, especially like in the bigger like WWE stuff like that. But have you ever been in a situation where your opponent was being either very careless in the ring or just unsafe in general? And how did you go about confronting them about the situation, like backstage or, however you would have had to have gone about it?
I'll tell you what, I've been very thankful that I never really got put in that situation yet. There was a time back in 2010 where I wrestled this one dude. Out of respect, I will not name him because,
That's fair. Yeah.
don't need that kind of drama in my life right now. But he had a tendency to not care about the safety of his opponents and get his shit in, as we say. So I knew what to expect when I was going in. I just didn't think he would try to do that to me because outside the ring, he's a decent guy. He's a nice guy. But like when we got in the ring, we had this spot where we lock up. I bring him to the corner. I'm the heel of the match. I bring him to the corner. The referee breaks it off. I go for a swing. He ducks it. I crash in the corner, turn around. He gives me some shots. Irish whip. I reverse. I splash him to cut him off. We go to the spot. He ducks my line. I turn around. Bop, bam, boom, bam, like rapid fire to my face. Ends it with a backhand to the face. So I'm like, fuck no. So when it came to with the next spot, Irish whip reverse, instead of me going for a splash, I'm coming directly with a forearm directly into his jaw, and I smashed it as hard as I could. He falls down. I grab him. Are we gonna fucking work? What's up? So like, and then the rest of the match was normal.
Gotcha.
I'm not a violent guy. I look out for my opponent. I try to make us look, try to make him look good. Like I hope he tries to make me look good. If someone accidentally tags me in the face and I know you're cool, like I'm just gonna brush it off. I know you don't mean it on purpose, but if you have a reputation of being violent or taking liberties with your opponents, trying to take advantage of their trust. First shot, okay. Second shot, nope. I gotta shut you down. Otherwise, they're going to keep on doing that to you. There's unfortunately some talent in this day and age that will take liberties with people if you allow them to, and sometimes you got to bring it back. And if they bring it further, then it's just going to be a fucking fight. Fuck the match.
Yeah, exactly.
Never had that problem yet, and I pray to God never. But as we say in this business, never say never.
True.
I'm here to have fun, entertain, not. This is my medication. This is what takes the stress out of real life problems for me. And the last thing I want is to have a problem with my medication.
That's fair. No, I agree. This is actually my favorite question that I have for you. I know Dylan said he had found you from the old lady video, and y'all discussed that. The video I found you in, which I didn't actually know it was you at the time until I went back today at work and saw it, was when you fought against Luigi Primo. And I loved it so much that I wanted to ask, how do you, on a personal level, how do you feel wrestling characters who are there more for like comedic relief, like Luigi Primo?
Easy work, because independent wrestling is a different way of entertainment than I would say when you work for AEW or WWE. In independent wrestling, it's okay to be more silly because you're entertaining the live crowd more than the hard cam. The funny thing is, this match was never going to happen, but I got booked like the week prior to the show because they needed an opponent for Luigi, who got booked at the last second as well. And he's like, yeah, maybe we'll get a viral moment out of it. We got on fucking Jimmy Kimmel. And ESPN just recently shared it again. So thanks, ESPN, for not tagging us. You know, you got 13 million views. Hey, you know, it would be cool if you just tagged us in the video and, you know, share the wealth.
Right.
After all, I gave my back to that goddamn video.
Yeah, I had seen it and I loved it. The first time I saw the video when he like basically kamehameha you with the pizza dough, and I didn't know it was you at the time. I went back and watched it today, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's Mikey. That's the guy we're interviewing."
That's me.
You
probably wondered how I got into this predicament,
Ryan.
But no, yeah, Luigi Primo. We met a few years back. Love the guy. One of the best human beings in the world. I literally told him after it got viral, that's your new finisher, man. You can't let anyone kick out of that move. You got to finish them with that particular move now, because literally Capcom can turn you to a Street Fighter character, and that's your ultra right there.
True.
I can just imagine the sound effect right now when you hit the buttons and he's twisting the pizza dough.
Yep.
But yeah, awesome moment. Definitely one of my biggest highlights of 2026 so far.
Hell yeah. No, I loved it for sure. I mean,
even John Cena acknowledged him. John Cena has this tendency on his Instagram account to take a picture of a random person, whether they're a celebrity or a viral sensation or an independent wrestler, and he gave love to Luigi Primo. So God bless Luigi, man. Very happy for him.
Awesome. Well, I'm on to my last question. I just wanted to say really quick, thank you so much for being here, for answering all of our questions, especially mine, and also as more of like the gamer, nerdier guy of the group. Thank you so much for sharing your love of like Pokemon and showing me the Mewtwo.
Hey, man.
I love that, man. I think it's awesome.
To the audience, before this aired, I told them I literally bought my Nintendo Switch Lights specifically to keep up with my Pokemon. Like I have Super Mario Party Superstar, and that's it. Everything else is Pokemon.
I'm not gonna lie, really quick before I get to my last question. I'm sorry, Dylan. I was playing. My fiance had never played Scarlet and Violet, so I bought her Violet, and then my Switch started having issues, so I literally went out and bought the Switch 2 just to play that one game with her.
Nice. I just started getting into Scarlet myself, and I was really surprised how fun it is. The only thing I hate is when you battle, the camera work can be super annoying sometimes. That's the only thing I have a problem with. Getting back into the question, what's on your mind?
Gotcha. So my last question is, if today's Mikey O'Shea could go back to like 2007, 2008 when you were getting into it, and give you any advice, give your previous self any advice, what would it be with like, I guess, the struggles in finding your footing in the sport and industry of wrestling? What advice would you give to yourself?
You can't please everybody. For the longest time, until the pandemic, I have tried to make everybody happy. But in this life, not just wrestling, but in this life, you're going to have people that don't like you without even having a reason to not like you. The moment you throw that away and you don't care about the people in the back and you just enjoy the people in front of you, that's when shit gets fun. You can't please everybody. And don't worry about deadlines. For the longest time, like when I was reaching 30, like, oh my God, man, I'm getting older. I don't know if I'm ever going to get a job in WWE. Just have fun doing what you're doing. If something happens, great, but there's more to life than just being a mainstream superstar in this business. Yeah, the money's nice. Yeah, it's good to, be in the history books, but you can get into the history books more than just one way.
That's fair.
So we have interviewed so many independent superstars over the years. I got to say, this was probably one of my favorite ones. I mean, the answers were so honest. They were so fun. And all
I can't
around,
believe I
this
was
a
able to
great
answer
time.
everyone's questions. I was so worried that you're going to give me a question like, so what did you think of Starrcade 1992? I don't know, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, trust me, I am definitely not the history buff when it comes to wrestling. Yes, I go back and watch old stuff, but as far as like going back to those years, no, I'm terrible with that. So no, you ain't gotta worry about that with me at all.
I was
But
thankful.
this,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
oh, I'm sorry, no, sorry, go ahead.
No. Please,
Okay.
please go on.
Oh, well, I was just closing out the show. I was gonna get your social and whatnot, so you can go ahead and say whatever you needed to say before we did that.
Oh, I was just going to say thank you for the questions, and I was happy to
of
be able
course.
to answer them.
Oh, of course. So now you can plug your socials, any sort of events you have coming up. I know you did mention like some that you did, but if you want to replug them for the audience and like I said, your social media and whatnot.
Okay, guys. So Facebook is sorry. Let me just make sure I got the right name here. Look up Mikey O'Shea on Facebook. I look like this. But as far as Instagram goes, I have a new account because my old accounts, who just passed 200,000 followers, is still suspended. I pray to God I get it back because that kind of hurt. My Instagram account is MikeyO'Shea87.eos, but I'm sure if you just put Mikey O'Shea, you can find me right there. TikTok, Mikey O'Shea 87 as well. YouTube, do I still have it as the old name? Nope. Mikey O'Shea 87 on YouTube as well. So pretty much Mikey O'Shea 87 on any social media. That's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. I do have a Twitter, but I don't really use it. I mostly go on Twitter to entertain myself if I'm having a bad day, and I'll just come across a random unfortunate video and be like, well, at least I'm not that person.
87 is a great year, by the way.
I'm sorry?
87 is a great year, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I was very thankful for my childhood. I was there from the evolution of video games and just evolution of phones, evolution of electronics, evolution of life. So, yes, sir. Are you 87 as well?
Yeah, I am.
When are you going to be 40 next year?
May.
May? Oh, dude, you got me. I'm in July.
Turned 39. I just turned 39.
Happy birthday, sir.
I appreciate it.
Happy birthday to Blaine, everybody at the comic section.
Me and Gary are in the 93 and Jordan's all the way in 2000. So
God bless you guys.
We're more on the younger end of side of things.
Hey, you're only old if you need help getting out of bed. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, luckily I haven't reached that part yet, so I think we're good.
Same here.
But as you can see at the bottom of your screen, you can find the podcast at World Elite Pod. You can find Gary at Gary_Fontenot04. You can find Blaine at B_Arsenault_. Jordan at Jordan_J2000. Me at _Ace of Elite. The podcast is also at World Elite Pod. As I said yesterday on yesterday's live stream, you can find all the merch, all the audio stuff, sponsors, affiliates, all in the description of the video as well. We'll be back next Wednesday on our same day at same time, 6 p.m. Central. Talk some more wrestling and whatnot. So once again, Mikey, thank you so much for joining the show. This was a blast. Looking forward to if we ever get to have you on again for some more wrestling talking and whatnot. Doors always open. I say that to every guest. The door is always open to come back and hang out with us for sure.
Awesome,
for everyone watching, thank you for tuning in, and I hope everyone enjoys the week of wrestling, and we'll be back next week. So y'all have a great day and a great rest of your week.